Hello, 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 and good afternoon. It is your girl, Miss Lee, full-time real estate investor based out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. And this is the Keys to Success show. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome Miss Dara Abasute, Queen Wholesaler, Airbnbs. There's so much that you do, Dara. I can't wait to get into some of your keys to success today. If you would take a moment and introduce yourselves to our viewers.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Miss Lee, for having me on your show today. I admire you from the moment we met a few months ago, actually, at the Queens of Wholesaling event in Atlanta here. So really quickly, I started wholesaling in 2016. I had just graduated from college and moved back home. So it's something that my mom and I randomly heard and found out about. So when I say it fell into my lap, it just fell into my lap. Wow. And so since 2016, we started wholesaling. Soon after, my first deal, it took me 5 months to get my first deal, by the way. So soon after that, we kind of got the ball rolling with creative financing and got right into being landlords. So that's what I do. I kind of juggle it all. I've done wholesaling deals. I've done fix and flips and regular traditional rentals and short-term rentals, as you mentioned.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about your transition into real estate investing. You said you had just graduated college. What did you go to college for? What did you study in college?
I got my bachelor's of science in rehabilitation science. So that is, for those who don't know, what pre-physical therapy, basically. So that's what my sights were set on, ready to go and conquer the world as a physical therapist. And then other things happened. Other things were in my path. And so real estate kind of just, that door closed, and then the door to real estate and entrepreneurship opened.
Wow. So you stumbled upon real estate investing. You said it took you 5 months. How did you, when you found it, what were your thoughts? Because you had just graduated college, so you have this degree in hand, and then you're like, how did you make that decision? Like, oh my God, what did that look like to you?
So at the time I was actually working a few part-time jobs. So it was always like in the way, because I had a daytime job, then I had a nighttime job, and then just wake up, rinse and repeat. And so in between those moments, I was doing the homework. I was driving for dollars, making cold calls, sending postcards. And then I just realized that all of those other part-time jobs were just in the way of me being able to really do real estate full time. Because homeowners like to meet you during the daytime. There were networking events in the evening. So I said, if I'm working in the daytime and at night, I can't make, something has to give.
Wow.
So, looking back, I probably would have not done it this way. I mean, I don't regret anything that I did, but I probably wouldn't have quit my jobs so soon without having done anything. I didn't have a deal yet. I didn't do anything yet. And I was just like, okay, I'm done. I quit.
Right. And a lot of times people say you have to burn the bridge behind you so that there's no other option. So that's pretty much what you did. You said, you know what?
Exactly.
I'm going all in. I know I have a job, but I'm going to let it go and really focus on this. So, kudos to you. That's a big deal to just have that faith to say this is going to work or else it has to work.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
That's exactly what that was.
Wow. That's powerful. So you started, how did you initially come across wholesaling real estate and say, okay, this is it. I found it, Mom. This is what I'm going to do, or anyone that was around you. How did you find
it? So I heard a radio ad about, so-and-so's coming into town. We're having a 3-day seminar or whatever. So my mom and I, bring a guest for free. So we both went. And that's where, I learned any and everything about real estate investing. I had no idea the first thing about real estate before this event. And so from that event, they always pitch their course of, $20,000 or however much money. And we were like, no, we're not about to join this course. But it just so happened, I feel like everything happens for a reason, and timing is everything, because on the third day, I believe, of that seminar, we met somebody who was a part of a real estate investing group here in Atlanta. Wow. So we connected with him and then joined that real estate investing group. And then from there, we were just really networking, learning the business, and I got a mentor who taught me the ropes. So that's kind of how I, got introduced to it, first with the seminar and then joining a group here in Atlanta.
Wow. So you went to a seminar, you then had a mentor here, and the mentor taught you the ropes. How important is it for people that are just getting started to have that mentor? What would you say that it was crucial for you to have that mentor in the beginning when you're just learning the business?
Absolutely. Personally, I mean, that's my own. I know people say but for me, I could not have, thanked him enough for what he taught me. Because, yes, there's free information all up and down the internet. And that's great. But when you have a very specific question, or you just don't know what left from right, you're just moving forward with not, you're just going full force. It's great to have somebody who can hone you in and say, hey, don't do this instead. Or just, it to me is very invaluable. And that's for anything in life. If you want to learn a sport, get a coach, an instrument, get a teacher. So
Right.
that's how I feel about business as well.
Wow, that's powerful. So you close your first deal in it, you have a coach. And from that point, how did it feel to close your first deal in the industry and say, wow, I just went to college, I just spent years in college, and now I just closed it? Like, what was that feeling?
Exactly.
Like? What did that feel like?
That was amazing because, like I said, it took 5 months from the moment that I started to actual getting to the closing table.
Mm-hmm.
And how that one happened, my first deal closed in 9 days. And I was out of town, like on vacation, and the seller contacted me and was ready to go. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to get back home. I got to get this done. Like, so excited. And my mentor went out with me to go see the property. And it was just, everything happened so fast. Got it at a great deal in a great area. And it sold like that.
Wow.
So that to me was, like you said, I burned the bridge behind me and just was every day doing what I had to do, not seeing any like results quite yet, but it all made everything worth it, because I was like, if you can do this and not like this could happen so quickly. Yeah, it was a game changer.
Wow. And that's amazing. I mean, especially after going to college, and a lot of people, college is phenomenal. The information that you get is phenomenal. The connections you get are phenomenal, but you spent so much time and then you graduate and then you have to then find a job. But with
Exactly.
wholesale and just real estate investing, you studied it 5 months later, boom.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
That is amazing. So, okay, you closed your first and now you're in the industry. How did you transition? What did that look like after you closed your first deal and getting into Airbnbs? Were you just like, oh my God, I'm all in? Or how did that look?
So I think my path or trajectory went wholesale. Got a creative financing deal. So that was my first taste of being a landlord. And then, that experience was crazy. But, so then I got into, I did my first fix and flip,
Mm-hmm.
and that was actually featured on HGTV. And then Airbnb came along with, I think, just a lot of my peers who I heard talking about it, like buzzing around. And I'm just like, what's this talk of the town that everybody's doing? And I can't wait to get involved. And I remember, I can't remember the year, maybe it was like 2017, 2018. I think it's 2018. I wrote on my New Year's resolutions that, this is going to be the year that I get an Airbnb. This is when I start. And then last year, 2019, is when I actually got my first 4 units for Airbnb.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So last year, so now you have a quadruplex 4-unit and all 4 units are rented out for Airbnb?
Yeah, so it's actually 4 different properties. It's just 4 listings, I should say. 4 listings. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing stuff. So I know along with real estate investing, you have other things that you're doing. Tell us a little bit about what all you have going on as far as your different businesses and things like that.
Yeah, it stresses me out. I stress myself out. Really, just, I think I've always been this way. I've always just done a lot because I have so much to offer, and I feel like all humans do, really. So I have a YouTube channel, and that is really centered around real estate. Everything that I learned, my journey and everything, I just share with others, and that's free game. Then, so I have my YouTube channel, which is great. And that's actually another source of income. So I would encourage anybody to really start a YouTube channel, to be honest.
Right.
And I am training to be a professional dancer. And that's been like a lifelong goal. So just like, you're never too late. Just jump right in. So that's awesome. It's just so much. I act. So I've been in film, TV. I just recently started working as a flight attendant. And that has been a lifelong dream goal as well. So it's just like,
Wow.
I don't know, I'm just checking off all these boxes because I feel like I'm young. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was dabbling in like t-shirts. I'm like, oh, this is cool to put on a t-shirt. Let me sell it. And then people were buying, and I'm like, oh, okay, wait, like let's just like, clean this up and make it to business. So I do have an e-commerce business, or actually a clothing line,
Wow.
as well. So I sell apparel. I'm trying to think what else. That might just be about it, I think.
Wow. I mean, but that is phenomenal, Dara. I mean, a lot of times people say you have to focus on the one thing or do the one thing, but you are just, you have real estate investing, you started a YouTube channel, and you have your passions like with dancing and everything like that, and you just continue to just add things on. I think that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like you said,
absolutely.
yeah, and you said like you're young and you continue to do more and more and add more and more. And even for the viewers who are older, it's never too late to add something on or a passion on and continue to add to your plate. What are your thoughts on that?
I wholeheartedly, I feel like that's my life mantra. Like my mom, I love her to death, is my biggest example of is never too late. And so many
Right.
other people who I know or don't know personally are just true testaments. I know when I started real estate in 2016, I would faithfully go to these real estate events. And there were people, I don't know their age, but they were, I'm sure, just now starting in their 60s and above. And that to me was just the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. It's people like, after retirement, you're never done learning, I feel like. And as long as you have breath, as long as you are alive, you should never stop learning and trying new things. And like I said, because I'm young, I feel like I can make mistakes, I can make failures, I can do so much and then realize, oh, okay, maybe I could take that off my plate, or maybe that wasn't as successful, or whatever the case may be. I don't feel like everything that I'm doing currently is just for the money. Like I said with the t-shirts, it's like I just think it's cool. Like, so whether I make $10,000 from these t-shirts or not, it's not the goal,
Right.
Um, so I truly believe it's never too late. Ever.
Wow. That is phenomenal stuff. So you said your passion is dancing. So you are a dancer as well.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about how long you've been dancing, and you just said, you know what, this is something I want to do, and I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is let's see. I started. I'm not professionally trained, and that's something that's pretty recent. So
Right.
back in elementary school and like middle school, I used to do step dancing, all the way up until college, really. So while I was in college, I was on a few dance teams as well, hip hop, African dance, and then it just was always something. Just I didn't necessarily know that you can make a career out of dancing, traveling the world, on tour with artists and things like that. So
Yeah.
it was just something I like to do. Like I love to dance, right? Oh,
Right.
but now you can make it a career, and oh, now you can actually live off of this. So
Right.
again, after I graduated, moved back home. A few years, I think 2 years later, I took myself seriously and was like, all right,
Mm.
if this is what you say you want to do, then you have to train to do it. So
Wow.
then every single day, I found a lot of different studios here in Atlanta and just went right into it. Literally every day of the week, I'm training and dancing. Um, and so it has been fruitful because of that. Like I said, I performed on television shows and things like that, and still haven't reached my goals. I still have high goals, high set up for myself, but
Right.
it's a journey, and I love it. And yeah, so I think 2017 is when I actually took myself seriously and was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. If you say you want to do it, the only way to do it is to start.
Right.
So
And that's really powerful. Something I heard you just say. If this is something that you really want to do, you have to train and get serious and do it. And so you actually said, you know what, I'm going to get a coach and learn how to professionally dance. And just with
that,
like with real estate, you said if this is something I really want to do, I have to train, get a coach, and get serious on it.
yes,
That's
exactly,
super important stuff.
yes.
So now real estate, travel, and now you also said you've added being a flight attendant to it. So are you traveling now with Corona and everything? Are you still traveling as an attendant? Have you started your career?
I have started,
Wow. Okay.
but I mean, I took a break just because of everything going on with Corona. So I was just like, let me just get out of the craziness of the world. So right now, no. And that's another thing too that I love about the flight attendant position. It's so flexible. It's so
Wow.
flexible so that I can choose to not work because of, pandemics and whatever the case may be.
Right.
So currently, no, I'm not.
And one thing that I think too, when it comes to being a flight attendant, you clearly don't have a fear of flying. And even if you did, you're conquering your fears through like, hey, I'm going to do it. I may have a fear of this, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And no, so before I became a flight attendant, I did travel quite a bit.
Okay.
So I love I'd rather be in the air than on the ground. Like I just,
Wow.
And of course you go through training. So that if any little slight fear that I might have had, completely out the door now, because of
Wow.
the training that we went through.
Wow. That is powerful stuff. And still, and that's one thing to bring everything full circle. That's so great about real estate investing is that throughout all of that, you've still had your real estate business.
Exactly.
You've still had
And the beauty of it is like, I don't do anything virtual as far as real estate goes, but if I wanted to, what's stopping me? I'm on the plane taking people to Detroit. I can just be talking to different people. You just never know who you meet. And that's the thing. Everything that I've done in life, like even like I said, when I graduated, the jobs I was working involved being around people and talking to people, just because you never know who's going to be your next anything. You don't know who knows who or who knows what. So I've always been the type to be in front of people in some way, shape, or form.
Wow.
So it's all pretty strategic. It's like, it's strategic. It sounds like it's all over the place, but there's
and honestly,
a method to the madness.
Yeah, no, and honestly, it doesn't sound like it's all over the place because everyone has their own design plan, and especially like you said, you're putting things out the way you would want them to be. Everyone has their own life plan. So to me, I think it sounds absolutely perfect based on where you want to go in your own life. And yeah, that's super important. Wow, that's really cool. So what are some of the other keys to success that you would give someone who's currently in college now and they're about to graduate and they're looking for a job and they're like, I may want to, and they're now, not sure what they want to do and they are thinking about real estate investing?
Okay, so I would say that one of the first things before all else is just your mindset and your belief system. Before anything else can really take off, you have to have the open mindset, the winning mindset, the abundance mindset, and just believe, whatever higher power or being you might believe in, just, is very important to me to have that source, that foundation. So that's first. And then, for anybody who's in high school, college, or whatever, and they're looking to get into real estate, I would say just really dive into the different types of investing that there are. I would say start where you are with what you have. So if you don't have a lot of money, then maybe wholesaling would be the best bet. Or if you have connections with people who have good credit, whatever the case may be, maybe you guys can team up together and start fixing and flipping and leveraging hard money, or something along those lines. So I think that is very important to know where you want to be, know the end goal, and then work your way back. So that's what I would say. Yeah, and definitely plug in to, like I said, a network of a real estate investing association or some group of people, because that, to me, like when I first started, it was me and my mom in this business. And then, of course, I had just graduated. So all of my friends were going into their professional fields or their grad school. So I didn't talk to them about real estate because it was just like a wall. They had their focus set on being a doctor, a lawyer, whatever. So I have friends in high places, which is great. But then it's funny because now, literally, so many of my friends have come back and like, oh my gosh, I need to invest. I need to learn how to invest. And so that's one thing a lot of people look in like, oh, my friends and family don't support me. I don't force anybody to do anything, that I'm doing that I think works for me and could also benefit them. I can, plant the seed, but that's about it. I'm not about to, shove it down your throat. So to bring it back to the answer is yes, plug into people who are already doing it on the same journey and like-minded. I personally don't believe you should try to force your close ones, your loved ones, to do what you're doing if that's not what they want to do at the moment,
Right. Yeah, that's super important. So one of the things you just said are one of your keys is mindset. When it comes to mindset, can you elaborate a little bit more on what you mean about, like, what are your ways of going about strengthening your mindset and how you would suggest others to strengthen their mindset?
Sure. There's so many ways. For me, I think it probably would have started in my adult life with reading, reading self-development books, So many, and thankfully there's like audiobooks, there's YouTube videos, there's ebooks and things like that. And I can listen to it on the go. Honestly, on the plane is what I'm doing, like in the back, like listening to audiobooks and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it starts with, you know, what you feed your mind, what you listen to as far as music goes, whether you pray or meditate, have affirmations, and also what was I going to say? Just writing things down, write to yourself. You know, and I literally have so many journals full of stuff. And when I was cleaning out my room the other day, I was looking back at journals from years ago, and I'm like, wow, you know, I wrote down my goals and things like that. So it's just really all about diving inward and figuring out yourself from the inside out.
That's super important. So just having clarity within and making sure that you're feeding your mind positivity along with that
Yes,
clarity that you have within.
yes, absolutely.
Wow, that's really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. So now real estate, mindset, flight attendant, what are some of the keys to your success, would you say, for all of the things that you're doing, like just wanting to do all of these things? What are some of the keys to your success when it comes to that?
I think it all. So this has not much to do with, this is like my personal life. I went vegan in 2017, and that journey taught me truly about my mind, because that's when I learned that everything starts and ends in the mind. Because I was able to fight temptation, and I was able to commit and be disciplined to something as hard as not eating any animal products, right? So anyway, so what I learned is that, you know, my mind is very powerful. Whatever I set my mind to, I can do. And so it's just as simple as that. So also getting rid of fear and doubt, because um, in the entertainment industry and dance, there is sometimes age cutoffs. You know, everybody who I'm dancing with started when they were 8 years old, 5 years old, whatever. And, you know, I'm an adult just now actually training and starting. So I had to get the fear out of my head, or the doubt out of my head that, oh, you're too old or it's too late. So, you know, that's with anything. So I think that I answered your question. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, so for me, it was just getting that fear and doubt out of my head, and just knowing that
Right.
if you say you can do it, you can at least try. Honestly, at the end of the day, at least go for it and try. Try till you can't anymore. And if it doesn't go well, at least you can say you tried.
Wow, that's good advice. When it comes to being a vegan, how has that played? I know you said it showed you the power of your mind and how strong your mind is to be able to fight temptation. How has that transition in your life been? You said since 2011, it's been
17.
17. So since
Yeah.
2017, 100% no animal products or anything whatsoever.
hmm
Wow.
Yeah. So that, like I said, it showed me the power of overcoming temptation first and
Right.
foremost. Discipline and commitment. And since then, I have altered it. You know, I have reintroduced certain types of meat, but um, it was going 3 years strong, 3 years strong
So wait,
of
you
that.
said since then you have started eating meat again a little? Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Just
so,
because, like, yeah, my body was like, what's going on,
say that
health
again.
wise.
I couldn't hear you. Say that again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was health reasons.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
you had to start eating just different things again.
Right.
Wow,
Right.
that's,
Right.
wow, that's really cool stuff. Yeah, I know that my sister, she's a vegan, and she's, a lot of people are eating healthy. I know for me, I stopped eating fish probably 2 years ago. I'm like, the poor little animals, they're probably, their family members are
Oh
looking
yeah.
for them, snatching them up on the boat. So, I want nothing
That
to do
part.
with that.
That
So
part. Yeah.
my reasons are more like, I feel like their families probably, and I just don't want anything. And just so slowly but surely, I start to not eat certain things, but I still, yeah, I'm working on
Yeah.
it. It's a work in
Yeah.
progress.
Again, it's not something I force on anybody. Like I said, when I went, I didn't. My whole entire family still eats meat and
Right.
everything else you can think
So
of.
you didn't
So
go into your mom's kitchen and just like throw everything on the floor and say we're no longer eating.
right. I'm like, well, this is gonna be my section. You know,
Right.
you keep whatever you want.
Wow. Let's talk, with speaking of your mom, let's talk a little bit about how that transition of you working with your mom, how that all came about. And do you guys still do a lot of real estate deals together? Because I know I receive emails and it has your name and your mother's name on the email.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. It is a beautiful partnership, and we say this to each other, like, I don't know where I'd be without you. She's like, well, I don't know where I'd be without you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we started together, we're still in together, and every decision that we made when I decided or I learned about Airbnb, of course I ran it by her, and so whatever we decide to do is like, together. So like I said, we're still only in Metro Atlanta. We haven't gone out into other markets, but if that's something we decide to do, it'll definitely be something, we decide together. So that's been great. It got us so much closer, which I'm very thankful for, and it is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, and what an amazing partner to have, your mother.
Exactly.
It's like certain people partner with friends and stuff, but to have your mom and be able to work and be productive and actually generate income with your mom, that's really powerful. And
Mm-hmm.
a great way of giving back to say thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I keep telling her, I said, I'm gonna get you your dream house subject too. I'll get you your
Yeah,
dream house, in a creative way because we know how to, right?
right.
Yeah, so it's also a really good balance because I think just because of my youth or lack of experience and wisdom in certain things, hers makes up for it.
Right.
And so I know, actually, my mentor, he was around my age, and his business partner was like in his 50s or so. So that was a good balance. I feel like you said, people join with their friends, and it's great to have somebody of your same age. But to me, like these different generations working together, that's like
Right.
game
You can learn
changing.
so much. You can really learn so much. And each person brings different things to the table and a
Right.
different point of view as well.
Absolutely.
Wow. Super awesome stuff. So, now with doing real estate investing you said your main market is here in the Atlanta market. How has your business been affected, if at all, with the COVID-19 and everything that's going on? Have you seen a dramatic change in your business?
I know. Okay, speaking of the short-term rental business, as far as Airbnb, and obviously that's highly based around travel, and
Right.
so funny enough, we only had one, like looking back at our progress, or we only had 1 month, that was March, where everything looked like it was just about to be like, what in the world? Because
Wow.
we do the Airbnb arbitrage method, which means that we are renting from homeowners and
Mm,
using their properties to run our Airbnb business. So I was like, okay, so we're gonna have to pay these people rent. It was just a lot going on. Even our traditional rentals, we had some of our tenants reach out to us and like, hey, things are looking a little rocky. But it was just literally like, it was weird, like a little dip, a little bump in the road, and then everything picked back up miraculously.
wow.
And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, that's the same thing that we're experiencing in my business. It was like a little bit of it got a little shaky, but I definitely see things going back up in a positive direction, which is truly a blessing for all the
Mm-hmm.
industries that have unfortunately been affected by COVID-19. That it seems like there's a brighter day ahead for sure.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow, really cool stuff. So, I want to take a moment to just thank you for giving us your time and talking about some of your keys to success in your business. What are some of your goals now, your final goals with, this year? Are you adding more portfolios, more properties when it comes to real estate investing?
Yes, absolutely. So, I'm sure you might have heard of as well the Burr method to buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. That's something I was always interested in, and I was like, all right, let's do that. And now we're to a point where wholesaling is still in our toolbox, but we are just acquiring
Adding.
properties for the long haul, buying and holding. So, even looking to get our first multifamily as well. So that's what my 2020, by the end of the year, that's what's going to happen. We'll have our multifamily. We want to refinance some of the properties we already have that have equity and things like that, and then just
Right.
rinse and repeat.
Wow. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Well, I'm going to see who are all watching and some of the comments they said. Christina, thank you so very much for watching. Cedric, thank you for watching. Harry Manning, thank you for watching. Carrie, Kareen, thank you for watching. Christina said, you're a beast.
Oh, thank you.
Kareen said, yes, yes, yes. How do I ever overcome fear when starting in different ventures? And she's just repeating what you were saying. And her success takeaways is having an open mindset of abundance. So, I mean, just the way, I know you said your YouTube presence and is phenomenal. You know, you have a lot of people that are following you. I know when we spoke at the event, there were a lot of people, they were like, Dara, you know, I
Yeah.
watched. And one of the takeaways that I've gotten from this is you said, no matter who you are, you should really start a YouTube channel. Like that's something that's really important when it comes to just sharing information and giving back. And I know for me, I've been in the industry for a good amount of time, and now I've just started saying it. I was saying to my executive assistant, I'm so happy that I've made the decision to start, you know, sharing content and sharing
Yeah.
information,
Yes.
creating a show, because you never know whose life you're affecting and how you can, you know, how that information can help someone else.
Absolutely, because and my thing about the everybody should make a YouTube channel is just because you don't have to be like a big personality or somebody who likes to be in front of the camera. It's just that the way that people, I search any and everything. I look up how to organize a kitchen cabinet. You know what I mean? And if somebody didn't make a video about that, I'd be like, well, what do I do? So you never know what you know that somebody else needs. There are so many videos that I've seen where it probably had like 20 something views, but it helped me change my life because I didn't know how to do X, Y, and Z.
Wow.
You know, and not only that, as far as my journey on YouTube, the reason I started my channel is truly because I didn't see anybody else on YouTube that looked like me talking about real estate, you know? So, and I literally, that's why I think I have been so successful on YouTube is because of that sole reason. I get so many comments saying that, you know, I'm so happy to see a Black woman, you know, a young Black woman or whatever, whoever I can resonate with, they are so happy to see that presence on YouTube, that representation.
Super important, super important. Well, thank you so very much for being on the show today. Thank you for all that you do and for sharing your content. Definitely keep all the gems coming. It was absolutely phenomenal having you on the show today. Thank you to all of our viewers who tuned in today on the Keys to Success show. Dara, it was an absolute pleasure. Until next time, it is your girl, Miss Lee, full-time real estate investor, coming to you live. And remember, we're here every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 noon, where we discuss some of the keys to success with local business professionals, entrepreneurs, real estate investors from around the world. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Lee. I had a great time.
You're very welcome. Thank you.